In the last video, we learned about the different string methods. Things like .length to tell me the length of a string, .substring to grab part of it. There's actually two ways I can do that, by giving it two numbers or by giving it one. And .indexOf to tell where something is in a string, where a particular piece of a string exists within a larger string. We're going to combine these now to do a bunch of different examples. And the first one is going to be something called the NameFixer. The NameFixer is going to turn this, if I type in my name, into this. Pretty straightforward. Let's do new class. This is going to be a console program, and we're going to call this NameFixer. Okay. The first thing that we need from this program is it should read in a string. So let's do this. String name equals read line. What is the name? Now to do this, to go from this first line, which is hypothetically what I would read in here, to this line here, what do I need to know? Don't I actually need to be able to separate the first name from the last name? And what actually separates that is this space in the middle. So the very first thing I need to do is find where is that space. Now, based on these methods here, looks like length isn't going to help me. Substring lets me grab a piece of a string, which is not really what I want. Whenever you're searching for a particular string within a larger overall string, indexOf is really the way to go. So let's do this. Let's say int space index, as in the index where the space is, equals name.indexOf space. Now that I know where this is, I think I can separate into the first name and the last name. Now for the first name, isn't it actually everything from the beginning of the string up until the space? And remember, when I do substring and I put two numbers in it, I don't actually include the thing at the end. So even though I'm going to put space index in for the second number, that means I'm not actually including the space. So let's do this. String first equals name.substring. The very first index is 0, and then I want to go to the space index. Remember, that won't include the space. And then how do I get the last name? Well, isn't it actually just everything from the spot right after the space all the way to the end? So let's do this. String last equals name.substring. And I'm going to put in here space index plus 1 because I actually want to skip over the space. I don't want to include the space in my last name. And we just want that to go all the way to the end. So I don't actually need to give it a second number. And let's do this. Let's print line last plus, then I'm going to do a little comma space that goes in the middle, and then first. So let's compile this and let's run it. What's the name? Kayla Holman. And there we go. It gives me Holman, Kayla. Now, I want to think a little bit about what scenarios this would not work in. And I think there's two main ones I can think of. What if your name is actually kind of more than just a first and a last name? There are people who have 3, 4, even 5 names. I had a friend in college whose name was actually Anna Bell, as in 2 different names. And I'm not going to tell you what her last name, but let's just say her last name was a P. Right now, if I try to run this with her name, let's see what that would actually look like. Hypothetically, Annabelle should be her first name, but it actually does Bell P as her last name instead of P, Annabelle. And that's because, remember, when I do indexOf, it tells me where the index of the first thing that I'm looking for is. So in this case, I have 2 spaces. It's actually going to find this one, and it's going to say that everything before that is the first name and everything after is the last name. The other case where this won't work is, let's say I do somebody's name who's just one name, like Beyonce. This actually will give me an error. Why is it doing that? Well, if we think about the name Beyonce, we're hinging this whole program on the idea of looking for a space. Beyonce doesn't have a space in it. Remember, when index of doesn't find the string that it's looking for, what does it return is -1. So then I'm going to try to take a substring from 0 to -1, and that's actually just not going to work, so that gives an error. So again, just a quick little program practicing using index of and substring to do something kind of interesting.